Right, Paula, so you've just come back from your launch, your second launch. So take me through the one from this morning.
So the one this morning, same preparation as the Monday evening class. I went to visit the venue, spoke with the venue manager, did the risk assessment, sort of, booked the dates, agreed all the terms and conditions, left some flyers, put a poster up, went around the neighbouring village and put a poster in the library, and then started using sort of social media. They have their own their own page, so kept just sort of launching the posters and the reminders with a bit of a countdown. And then this morning just turned up, like sort of give myself 40 minutes before class was due to start, and just got the music system sound set up, made sure the room was ventilated, marked the floor, put the drinks and the refreshments to one side, and just waited to greet the lady. So I had my daughter and my sister-in-law to help me to meet people. Some people I'd already received messages from, so I had names, so I was expecting them, so keeping a little bit of a lookout for them. And other people just turned up through word of mouth. So there was a couple of family friends came, and they sort of said that they had been spreading the word and they were expecting, such and such and such and such to come. So that was it. So I was quite surprised. Two ladies that came to the Monday launch class asked if they could come also to the Friday, which I agreed to, because you never know for numbers. So that was really, really good to have them. So it was a good venue, good size, and good amount of people today. Everybody seemed to enjoy it, and people are coming back. So that's what they've, people have showed an interest and managed to chat to people at the end, and ask them for the thoughts, ask them how they managed, and if it was something that they were going to be interested in coming back. And everybody really, really enjoyed it. So it's looking quite positive. Yeah. So all
Fantastic.
good.
Fantastic, Paula. I picked up a few things from what you said, which will be very helpful for our teachers who are preparing for their launch. So I picked up that you said something about putting a post in the library. Sometimes we forget to use something like your local library. So that's really
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah. A
And
lot of the villages where I live, all sort of, because it's not very rural, but they are a little bit more like rural in some areas. So a lot of the little villages have their own like advertisement board. So it's either based like in a school, or on the corner. So there's one at Rowlandsgill, there's one at High Spen in the school, there's one in Choppel. So it was just about utilising the community centres, and like sort of my local hairdressers, all of the facilities that I use, just putting those sort of posters up. But libraries, I think, are quite good, because there's a lot of more mature ladies still like to physically go to the library. I think and unfortunately the library in Choppel closed, and it's now in the school, but Rowlandsgill Library's open, and Winlayton Library's open as well. So they were very happy to advertise. Not so many, as I went around looking in shops, there's not a huge amount of shops have posters in the windows, but a lot of shops have got like an information board inside the shops. I think it's really important to go in and check out and see if the local Tesco and the local Morrisons have got an information board, because that's where they put up those sort of notices for you. So
yeah,
yeah.
you've done a lot of very proactive advertising. And to think, it's only been 10 weeks since you did your training day course. 10 weeks ago, you wouldn't have danced any swing fit moves. And
No.
and you're still doing a job, aren't you? You have only one day off a week. You're
Yeah,
still working 4 days a week, and
I
you've
do.
managed to fit in your preparation. And then within 10 weeks, it's been very possible. So how did you feel that your preparation's gone? Did you organize it so that you did all your prep in one day in a week, or do you do a bit each day? How would you?
No, I did. I spread it out over the week. Obviously, I really focused on the Friday, like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, more so a Friday and a Saturday, because they are, other than like doing your shopping and doing your housework. But what I found was that if I did a little bit every day, if I did a little bit, like come in from work, have my tea, let it sort of settle, do a few jobs, and then run through a routine or start, that was the way that I did it. So I did something practically every day. I think there might have been 1 or 2 days where I didn't do any swing fit, and that would have been because I think it might have been 2 Sundays I was down in Leeds 2 Sundays in a row, so that was just quite impossible. But other than that, I was doing a little bit every day, but doing a little bit more on a Friday and a Saturday.
Fantastic. I really recommend to our teachers to do a little bit every day.
Yeah,
Then it feels normal. It becomes your life. You know, your daily routine is part of
yeah,
your life. After all, we want our ladies, our clients, to make swing fit their lifestyle. So we should do that first. We should make it our
yeah,
lifestyle. If we
yeah.
expect them to, to make swing fit their lifestyle, it sounds like you have a really clear plan and you got organized. When you were dancing your entire launch routine for the first time on Monday in front of a group that's new to it, tell us how that feels.
Because I'd done a couple of run throughs with family, so I for 3 Wednesdays we had a venue where there was myself, my daughter, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and niece. Went in and sort of we sort of blocked a little bit, so we did like maybe 5 or 6 routines, and then had 5 or 10 minutes, and then did a little bit more. And I think the third week we did the complete run through, had some laughs and giggles with some of the as you do, and I think seeing the amount of people, I was a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of people that actually turned up on Monday, and there's a little bit of panic sinks in, because you just want to make sure that everything's going to work really, really well. A lot of people are new, and I'm not sure whether sometimes when you do something in front of somebody new, whether that's a little bit more daunting than doing it with complete strangers. So a little bit of a mix, but it went absolutely fine. The ladies were lovely. They were clapping, in between routines, and really sort of celebrating things. And we had a good amount of time to chat. I had, lots of people spread about, like chatting to people as they were coming in. And then before I started, I sort of introduced myself, introduced Swing Fit a little bit, and just sort of reminded people about the limitations, and that, that just to work within their own boundaries, really, and to sort of like indicate to anybody if things were going wrong, and just really said, have some fun, enjoy it. It's just about, it's lovely to dance, it's lovely to listen to the music. There's an element of fitness there, but really it's about doing something that you enjoy, and having some fun. And it couldn't have went any better. It was really good. Yeah. So I surprised myself when, once everybody left the hall and there was just the few of us left, it was like, all saying, yeah, that was brilliant. That was really, really good. So it went, it couldn't have went any better. I'm not saying that maybe all of the routines were step perfect. There might have been a couple of times where I maybe thought, oh, I should have maybe give a little bit of a better direction. And I think having a couple of people that were a little bit familiar with the routines might have helped some of the ladies as well. So my daughter picks up things quite quickly, so she stood at the front. And my mother-in-law also stood at the front, because she's quite small, but she's 72. So I suppose just to sort of let people think, I'm going to move a little bit. So my daughter was doing the moves, better than what I do in terms of energetically. And then my mother-in-law kept things sort of at a lower pace. I think that worked quite well as well. And I think definitely having people to help is really, really important, because without having sort of the thought, to get through the health questionnaires with everybody, making sure people, were putting, their personal belongings safely to one side. I think it was really good to have a few people to help you, just to get people sorted, point them in the directions of the toilets, explain where things are, and, find a spot and that sort of thing. So I think that's quite important. And I know that was something that it's in the launch plan, isn't it? You need your helpers, you need those people there. You don't really want to be doing a lot of stuff on the day. You want to be able to mingle and speak to people and get that feedback. And that's what my helpers did. They got all the health questionnaires signed, and organised everything, sorted out the refreshments at the end, and that was perfect. So yeah, and pretty much the same today. There wasn't quite as many people today, so and I think having done it on Monday, it seemed to be, I wouldn't say it was chaotic on Monday, but I felt it was busy. I felt it was, it was a really, really busy time. And there was, we had a really, really good turnout, and it was a nice turnout today as well. But I think because I've done it on Monday, we sort of can settle it. It worked well. It's going to work absolutely fine again. So yeah, it was good.
It's experience. The launch is always busy, and we want that busy feeling anyway. You want to create a buzz, so
Yeah,
people know that busy feeling. It's because it's a launch. Any kind of a launch is busy, and then once the launch is done, the weekly class will just feel like clockwork. Feel like clockwork.
yeah,
Get used to setting up. Nothing is new or the first time anymore, and you'll soon be repeating the routines, so you'll be able to do it very easily.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
then, talking about lots of people on Monday, how many ladies did you get, including, your friends and family that came to help?
Yeah, so 26.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And how many did you get today?
Today there was 19.
These are very healthy numbers, aren't they? And
Yeah,
the important thing now is, I know the excitement is there. This is what I'm going to say to anyone listening to our recording, is what we now do. We always say the follow-up is key, isn't it? The follow.
yeah.
So how did you collect everyone's names or contact details?
So everybody has sort of filled in the paperwork, as in I have hard copies. So people have left email addresses and telephone numbers. I've spoke to people about the Facebook page, so about social media, so that if my flyers have all got my telephone number on. So I have had a couple of people ring or a couple of people message as well. So, and I've spoke to ladies to say, are you on, do you use Facebook? Are you on social media? Do you have, or don't you have an email? Because some of the older ladies don't. They've got a house telephone number. So it's, giving them a written piece of paper with the dates and the times of the next classes. So I've got a list of some ladies that have said that they're coming back, and I've, the ladies that have given email addresses and said that they're happy to receive the details. I'll send them an email with, just to confirm. And then the plan was I'll, sort of put the dates and times on the locations of the class now that both the launches are finished, so that I can put that on my Swingfoot page as well. But bearing in mind that there will be some ladies that don't use social media, but I've spoke to them individually and sort of clarified. And some ladies have said, oh, I the first Friday of the month I go, it's my walking group, and sort of and then occasionally I childmind, and I've just sort of reassured them that that's absolutely fine. You don't have to commit to every week, but ideally for numbers, just until we get started and we get settled, it would be really good to have an indicator on a week-to-week basis. So I will probably ask people at the end, are you planning to come back, and just share contact details. There was a couple of ladies who were asking about could they just do drop-ins, because they do a more high intensity fitness class like at 11 o'clock on a Friday. And I had said that, that there probably wouldn't be anything wrong with that, but there might be a time that capacity might be overfilled. So it would be better if they just dropped me a message, first and foremost, just so that I had a good idea of numbers. And then I think once things get established, and if people are keen to use the electronic system, then so I'm keeping it at the moment, just sort of doing a little bit more of an informal type of booking, I think, just until people get a good feel for it and they know that they want to come. And then I'll keep an eye on numbers, and I think if it does become a little bit tricky, then I'll have to install maybe a more structured booking system, just to make sure that we don't get too many people turn up, or again have to have a think about, so that I can keep an eye on numbers if they start to drop, and what to do about that. So just everything's just hard copies at the moment. So I've got ladies' contact details on the health questionnaires.
Yes, all our teachers can have their own system, whatever booking system they wish. So what I would say is have a system, whatever the system might be. So for example, for you, you can inform all your ladies to say, use the words for now, because people are creatures of patterns.
Yeah.
The moment you say, oh, just pay on the door, they will just become a pattern in their head. They'll go like, oh, this, because one day when you need to change it, they'll be like, oh, I thought we pay on the door. So just the word for
For
now.
now,
Do
yeah,
this. And then one day when you feel that it's all a bit too much, you can message all of them to say, from October or from January. January is quite a
yeah,
good time. From January, I will be introducing such and such a program, such a booking terms, and then people get used to it gradually.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so that would be as long as you have a system that is not too chaotic for you. What I would suggest, maybe you're going to do it anyway, is that before next week, so before a week has passed, just drop them a text
yeah,
or give them a phone call to say, just without asking them to book, just go, just to say thank you so much for coming to the launch. It was fantastic, and fantastic you could come along. Just something short. And if
yeah,
you ever want to learn, maybe you know how to do it already. I can send a group text. So it depends on whether you want to do emails or text. Sometimes people think like, oh, I can't be texting so many. You can do a group text
yeah,
on your computer, so that they hear from you in between the weeks, especially in these early first
yeah,
months.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
just to say
Yeah,
thank you for coming. Well, it sounds like you had an absolutely fantastic launch, and it couldn't have gone any better. It's gone to
yeah.
plan, and of course, emotions will be there, our own emotions. So, how did you manage to calm yourself when you have a mixture of excitement and a mixture of, oh my God, there's so many people? How did you calm yourself down or keep control?
I think, yeah, I think it was just about that sort of self-belief that I've done it. I'm not generally a flappy, panicky type of
Yes,
person.
yeah.
And my sort of inner thoughts were that if it goes wrong, like if something happens with the routines,
Mm,
these ladies, they don't know what I've done wrong. I think it was just about keep going and have fun and just look like you're enjoying yourself. Um, and and I think, and again, thinking to myself, I'm going to have some fun as well. It's something that I'm going to take some enjoyment from. And yeah, just keep going. So I think because I'm not generally a person that flaps and panics anyway, that makes it a little bit easier. But there is always the underlying thought, oh, crikey, if the sound goes wrong, if it doesn't work, if something majorly happens, and but for me, it was just like, just imagine that, I'm just part of somebody else's class and I'm enjoying it and I'm having fun, and but I'm maybe taking a little bit more of a lead, and I think that seemed to work. That seemed to work quite well.
yes, brilliant. Well, the key thing is always joy, isn't it? You're giving them joy and you remain joyful yourself. It's a state of mind that we need to make a habit. And soon we'll all get used to being joyful all the time. Well, Paul, I have to say congratulations for an
Thank you.
amazing launch, and thank you for letting me record our chat, so that our other teachers can just learn from your experience, and just different teachers will pick up on different points that you've said,
Yeah, yeah.
from family members to the library to getting your sound system sorted. So that's brilliant. Well, onwards and upwards. This is within 10 weeks. So yeah, fantastic. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.